Hey, it's vocal coach Jamie Vendera. We're back for another singer spotlight. This time we're with Rodrigo Montenegro, and he is from Costa Rica. And I just been talking to him for a few minutes before we started this, and I'm really humbled. It makes me smile. It makes me feel good that there's singers from around the world who are using my material and who are, gaining, and learning some stuff about voice. So this interview is about Rodrigo. So Rodrigo, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
I
you.
do want to start off. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you? Exactly where do you live? Are you in a band? Just tell me all of that kind of good stuff.
Okay, so I'm Rodrigo Montenegro. I live in Costa Rica. I live in the central part of Costa Rica. I don't know what you think of Costa Rica. Probably you think it's just a rainforest, but it's not. It's a city like any other else. I play at my local church. I'm a worship leader. I'm
Awesome.
22 years old. So you probably already know about church music and everything that is not like old music, but we try to be like relevant at culture, and we try our best to be creative about what God has given us.
Well, that's good. Yeah, my last church we try to do a lot of up to date music, and I like the old hymns too. I grew up with a lot of the old
Yeah, they're
hymns,
great.
but yeah, to keep people interested, you definitely
Hmm.
have to update it for all the kids and everything. So let me grab over to my list here, dropped it off. How did you get started in singing?
Okay, so my dad was an amateur musician, so since I was a kid, I always played with his guitars. I always heard him singing, and I think I brought it with myself, like he inherited it to me. So I always had that kind of facility or capability for music, but I thought to myself one of these years, like years ago, if I want to live of this, I have to be one of the very best, because in Costa Rica there's not an opportunity like in the States that you go to a guy, hey, I want to produce a CD. Okay, let's do this. In Costa Rica, you have to be one of the best to get a record label, or to have a good band. So I thought, man, if I want to be uh, a musician for my life, I have to be one of the very best. It's just so I started searching. I wanted to be one of the best vocalists, like at modern church music. So I need to have a vocal coach. I want to be a great guitar player. I need a great guitar coach. So I started looking for in internet for good vocal coaches, and I found Jamie, the person that has helped me the most.
Well, that's awesome. So you mentioned that you're the worship leader. Do you mainly sing Christian music, or do you have like a Christian rock band outside of the church?
I just play at the church, because in our church produces CDs, like it's called La Viña Escazú. It's Vineyard Church, so it produces CDs as the band Vineyard, the label Vineyard. So I'm not in a band because it takes a lot of work and to find people who are interested to do the same kind of music you want. But yeah, we try to just make the music of the vineyard, Costa Rica, and try to do it as best as we can, as creative as we can, since God is the God who created creativity.
Well,
So
that
we're
is
just trying to resound that.
no, that is awesome. Do you just perform in a church, or do you travel and perform like at other churches or other events?
I have traveled to the States to do like some concerts at churches, but for Hispanic people, because I lead in Spanish. So it haven't been like the big event, but it's cool to travel to another place of the world to lead people who speak your same language.
No, that is
Even when
awesome. No, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just think that's really amazing. So,
yeah, so it's amazing to go to a place that the language is in English, but there are Hispanic people waiting to be led in worship by another Hispanic person. So it has been really cool experience. I don't do it a lot. I usually lead here in Costa Rica, but when I did it, it was amazing. I hope to do it more in the future. Uh, it could be with vineyard or with a band. I don't know what God has stored for me, but we'll wait to see.
Hey, but that's awesome. So at your church, um, do you lead and do your praise and worship music in English or in Spanish, or do you do both?
For the church, we do it only in Spanish because we don't want to leave people out who doesn't speak English. So we don't sing English spoken songs. But if we like a song that is in English, we translate it to Spanish and sing it.
That's cool.
But for personal use, I like to practice or to be at home. I prefer to sing English worship music.
That is cool. So you like Casting Crowns? Have you heard of them?
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, actually, I actually warmed up Mark and the whole band maybe about 4 or 5 years ago.
Really
Yeah,
cool.
they were a couple hours away, and a friend of mine actually worked with them, was part of
Cool.
their tour management. So I
Yeah.
went, met Mark and gave him a copy of Raise Your Voice. It was a really good time. Got to worship with them and everything.
I love one song of them that's called Live Song. Like
Yeah,
Let
good,
My Love Song Sing. I love that song. It's
very
amazing.
good song.
Really
So
touched me.
Rodrigo, do you have stage fright or nervousness like when you perform?
Yeah, but not at the performance. Like as a worship leader, you don't have just to sing the songs, but you have to always say the right thing. Like be aware of what the pastors want to say. Like if they want to interrupt you, you have to be like aware of that. So that's what actually keeps me nervous because you don't know what you're gonna expect. If you're just gonna sing a song, that's easy. But the hard part is like being aware of what God's doing. If someone wants to speak, if so, that's what the thing that tightens me a little bit. But
Yes, but you has it gotten easier for you over the years then? Like now that you're
yeah,
in the flow and you kind of know what your
it's
pastor's going to
practice.
do. I mean, you never
Yeah,
really know what your pastor's going to do. You know, but you
practice.
kind of. So what is your warm up routine like? Do you do anything to warm up your
I do
voice?
the Well, I try to do like a little workout, like jump ropes or push-ups, and then I do the vocal stress release, like massaging and the breathing exercises and the ultimate vocal warm-up. I do the lip bubbles, the hums, and the yayas.
Well, then I know you're definitely reading my book since you're doing
Yeah,
vocal stretching. And I like that you told me the jump ropes because I'm sure I mentioned that in there somewhere. But with the cardio or the push-ups, it kind of gets your whole body pumped, and it does really open up your voice. So that's good. I don't hear a lot of singers who actually jump rope before they perform, and that's an excellent thing to do to
I
get you
wish I
ready.
could do it every time I sing, but since you're at church watching the worship leader jump rope before the set, it's like weird. So I try to do it at home and in the car. I finish the ultimate vocal warm and then I get ready for the gig. But
Cool. So you got your warm up. You're doing that. I know you read Raise Your Voice. Are you also every day? Are you doing like a workout? Or are you doing any scales or my isolation exercises? Or are you doing any practice regimen to build up your voice?
I used to have like a very strict regimen like a year ago, and I got like really busy with other stuff. And a month ago, I got a really bad cold, and my voice was just like horrible. I couldn't even sing like a G4, I think. So I was like, I'm worried, man. I can't even sing. I can't even be without nervousness about singing. So I started the 7 week program that you always do vocal stress release. You reread the book. So now I'm in week 2 doing transcending tone, and I love it because you get that muscle memory all over again. So you
Good.
don't have
But
to
you're
worry
noticing,
about.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
dude,
muscle memory is the best thing you can have in your body because you don't have to worry about doing things right. Your body does that for you by
because it's
practice.
it's so used to being there. I mean, of course, you got to build up the muscle, but you were a model student. You know, it doesn't
No, no,
matter that
no.
you kind.
I'm just trying really hard, but it's not that I'm great. I'm just
Well,
trying really, really
but
hard.
you're being honest because I have students. I've had students who'll come to me like less than like 3 years ago. I won't name any names. I've had some rock stars, some pop stars, and then they kind of fell off the wagon. Then they came to me for 4 or 5 more lessons, and then they remembered. You know, because it is easy to get out of the routine. I've done it. I'm so busy. Honestly, where I was just in Japan and I came back and got this really weird, still actually kind of dealing with it, just a hair, this weird like adenoid infection, not my chords, but it's really got me down. So I missed a lot of practice days. I was just wore out. But now, like, I'm up every morning at 5 a.m. I'm working out. I'm doing my Sing Fit program. I'm doing my isolation exercises. But and then I'm starting to feel it again. It's starting to come back. It feels like a well-oiled machine. So when you finish week 7, keep going. You know, get in some type of routine and definitely don't.
That's what I wanted to ask you. After I finish week 7, I don't know what else to do. Like,
Yeah,
I need.
you just email me since you're doing this singer spotlight. I'll line you out a program.
Okay.
It'll be fine. It'll be easy. You know, it's just this is maintenance, and it really depends on how much range you want to expand. Speaking of range, when you started my book, did you notice, like you said, hey, I was sick and I couldn't get the G4, even without being sick, did you notice when you started, did you gain any range? Did it stay the same? What happened for you when you started doing my material?
Well, I was like mm, 19 years old. I was still getting out of my teenage, so I think I had the worship leader syndrome that you couldn't even sing a Chris Tomlin song because it was too high and you strained and everything. So I started my vocal program with Raise Your Voice, and I started noticing I could sing every one of the songs.
Wow.
I had to try, but I could sing Chris Tomlin songs, and I said, yeah, that's great. So I started practicing like the isolation exercises, and I could even, and then I started making the harmonies, like the second voice, that's a little bit higher. I noticed, well, I'm being awesome, and it helped me a lot because it told me that I'm getting better. I can extend my range. So and then I started like practicing with songs of Bruno Mars or Journey that are really really challenging songs, and I don't nail them perfectly. Almost every time I miss some of the notes, but I can practice with that, and that's the important thing. I have increased my range to practice to the very best singers of the world. So it has
But you
been a lot.
but you've expanded, and and like after the 7 weeks, if you keep pushing, not that I want you to sound like Bruno or like Steve or Arnell, but you can learn to hit those notes. You've already proven, you're already singing the Chris Tomlin song. So the more you practice, the higher your voice and the lower it can become. So that.
Actually, just to make just for the people who are checking it out, I couldn't even sing like an E4. I mean, the E4 was my top, and now singing a G4 is like the minimum. If I don't sing a G4, I'm bad. So you
But
you 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 put a higher standard for yourself with this method.
absolutely, and you know what? Everyone's like, oh, I want an octave. But think about this: F4, F sharp 4, G4. That's 3 notes that when I started, I was at a D sharp E4, and my coach back in the '80s said, "You will never sing any higher unless it's in falsetto." And now, like I was working on a new song with my guitarist Friday night, really tired, but he likes to push my buttons. So I'm singing. The chorus is like up. It goes from like an A sharp 4 up to a D5, then even up to an F5, and so it stays right around that range. Just drops down to F4, so it's pretty high. And I'm a bass. Even when I talk on here, I do kind of lift my voice just to kind of let it float. But usually I'm kind of down here. But I like to lift it up just to keep it floating. So you can definitely expand your range. So now that you started this routine, has your approach to vocal health changed? Are there certain things you're doing to keep your voice healthy?
Yeah, I try. Let's see if I got it around here. Man, no, I can't find it, but I have I don't know, here it is. The vocal ease.
Yeah, good
I
spray.
try to use it every day. and I try to keep my entire body healthy. I mean, if you try to just keep your throat healthy, you're gonna miss the point. You have to have a full body healthiness to keep yourself in top notch. So I
Well,
try to do everything just to keep my whole body healthy.
that's great. Vocalese is one of my two favorite sprays on the planet, and I like quite a few sprays, but it is definitely one of the top. I love OSHA. She's an amazing lady, and it's an amazing product. But you hit the nail on the head. You can't if you have a what am I trying to say? If you have a sinus issue, of course you can flush your sinuses, but it could be something deeper. It could be a cold. Maybe you need to steam. Maybe you need vitamin C. So if you're just thinking right here and not overall, yeah, you're not going to if you're drinking pop and smoking cigarettes
Yeah.
and taking Vocalese, it's not going to fix it. So that's
Yeah.
definitely good advice. So what advice would you give to someone who's came and watched you, leading the worship team, and they say like, "Wow, Rodrigo, I love your voice. That was amazing." What advice would you personally give them to help them start singing better?
I think the first one could be that don't don't put a roof over what can God do in your life. I mean, I wasn't a very good singer. I don't know if I am a good singer. That's what people will have to tell. But I don't want to put a roof over what God wants to do with me. So I'll do my best so that God can do His best through me. So if you want to be a better singer, push to it. I mean, you have to do everything that's in your possibility to train, to keep your body, your throat healthy, and God will do the rest. But you have to train really, really hard with programs, with this method, isolation method that has worked a lot for me, and basically training, effort, practice.
Well, good. Well, I'm hoping you're back on the practice train and you stay there too after the 7 weeks. Like I said, email me
I
and
hope.
I'll make sure you're taken care of. Now, with you said the church puts out CDs under Vineyard, correct?
Yeah.
Now, do you have music out that people can hear? Do you have any videos or any CDs that we can lead them to at this point?
Um, I have a SoundCloud, but it's really, really old. Actually, we're gonna jump into the studio in the next 2 weeks to produce a new CD. It's gonna be my first CD
Good.
with collaboration, so I don't have like a quality
Okay. Well,
music
that's fine.
recording right now.
What we will do is, for those of you watching this interview, check in the video comments on this page, on this video, and we will, in the description, we will put the link to Rodrigo's SoundCloud, your Facebook, whatever it is that you want to promote so that they can hear you. And we
Mhm.
definitely help people, especially maybe that'll help you here in the States and Costa Rica, because we love to see you come back and tour and do churches over here and spread the gospel and and sing in Spanish and really just have a great time. It's a blessing when you have this gift of music and it permeates your soul, and it's a gift from God that you just want to share it with the world. So that's the best thing you can do, and not just in your church, but local churches here in the States, Africa, wherever you can go. I mean, take your talent and definitely go
Mhm.
across the world
Thank
and share it. I mean, that's what I do. Of course, I'm just breaking glass, but
Not just that, but
it's still fun. So, do you have anything, any last words you'd like to add?
no, I think I've said it all. Jamie's a really good coach, but it depends on you guys. Train, practice, and try to do your best. God has given us the gift of creativity, so resound it, expand it, go ahead and travel the world with it.
And this is what I love for those of you watching this interview. Rodrigo and I have not did any Skype lessons and any person lessons together, yet he got Raise Your Voice. And I think you said when you searched and you joined my mailing list, you watched some videos before we were talking, you said something about the 50% off coupon. You bought the program, and you applied it. And you noticed, hey, these songs that were high for me, suddenly I could sing them. So you put you in the mindset that, hey, I want to try some more, some Bruno Mars, some Journey, which you probably wouldn't have done before. And now you've taken your professionalism up to another shelf, and you're pushing yourself. A lot of singers do not do that. They have this fear. I think you've broken past that fear, and now you're going for it, which is a beautiful thing, because a lot of times we as singers limit ourselves, So I think you've gotten past that point, and I'm so proud that I was partially responsible for it. So,
Yeah.
well, I thank you, Rodrigo. This has been a great
Yeah.
interview, and guys, stay tuned again. Just as soon as he is finished with his CD, we will put the link up in the description, so you can definitely go and support Rodrigo and check out his music. I know that you will not be disappointed. I'm Jamie Vandera again, and we will see you in the next Singer Spotlight.